Hello there, welcome back to another video of Talking with Can.
Hi there.
In this video, we are going to talk about a reunification program. This reunification program we are going to discuss is going to influence you and your parents. So Vishnu, how can I bring in my parents into Canada?
There are three ways to bring a parent to Canada depending upon your status. One, visitor visa. Second one is a super visa. And the third one is called as a PR sponsorship for the parents.
So you mentioned three different pathways, that is visitor visa, super visa and the sponsorship. So what are these?
So visitor visa is technically for anyone who is either be on a study permit, work permit, PR or a citizen. If they want to bring their family member just to visit here, then they can apply for a visitor visa. The second one is the super visa, which can be only applied by an individual who are a PR of Canada or a citizen holder of Canada. They can apply for their parents for a super visa. Whereas a PR sponsorship is entirely different sort of application where the PR or citizen-based individual wanted to sponsor the parents to become a PR status of Canada.
Okay, so is it like the same visitor visa that anybody applies? Does the parent has to return back to his home country after 6 months?
Always. So like any other temporary resident visa, if even a citizen is applying for a visitor visa, still the applicant, so in this case we can talk about the parents, they have to oblige to all the regulations, the period of stay, the true intention of go back if they are applying for a normal visitor visa application. So the visitor visa application, the applicant after getting it approved can only stay for 6 months, not more than that. After that, they ought to leave Canada, otherwise they have to apply for an extension.
Okay, so what will be the difference between a visitor visa and a super visa? What is the main criteria that differentiates both of them?
So like the visitor visa, just like I explained to you, the visitor visa is for an individual who can be on a study permit, work permit, PR, citizen, they want to bring their family member or a parent, can apply for it. And it's just basically like a normal visitor visa for a tourist purpose, for a family reunification purpose, or any other reason where they are promising the CIC that, okay, that is the stay which require only less than 6 months. Whereas when we are talking about the super visa, now the case is different because that is going to be applied by an individual who is a PR or citizen, which means the person who is applying or sponsoring their parents for like a super visa is taking a commitment for 5 years. That means an individual, like a parent, can stay in Canada up to 5 years in one stretch. To do this application, almost everything is same as a visitor visa. But one, the intention to stay in Canada can be now more than 6 months. The applicant, like in this case, the parents, want to have a 1 million insurance. Very important thing is that this insurance cannot be from an individual or a company which is based outside Canada. This 1 million insurance ought to be a Canadian-based company, which is gonna cover for their medical emergency up to 1 million.
You can stay here for 5 years, right Vishnu?
So it depends. For example, if parents are well settled in back home and they just wanted to come and meet their grandkid or meet the kids and then go back, apply for a visitor visa. But the refusal rate is relatively very high. However, if the parents wanted to come stay here and they wanted to spend quite a some time without any visa or immigration paperwork in between, then I would definitely recommend them to go with a super visa because the super visa gives them a easy approval, faster approval, and not only that, that can give them a long stay period in Canada. So depending upon the purpose of visit, a PR or citizen will have two choices, either visitor visa or super visa, whereas non-PR or citizens will only have one option, that is visitor visa.
Okay, and let's address the big elephant in the room, that is the PR sponsorship. As we know, the parents will get the PR through the PR sponsorship for the parents, but what is the catch and why is not everybody's parents getting into this program?
Okay, so PR sponsorship is one of the sponsorship application by which a Canadian citizen or a PR can bring their parent as a PR. However, there is a conditions, there is a policy, there is a eligibility criteria to go through this. It is not like you can put an application anytime. The PR sponsorship application for the parents specifically open once a year. So it's not like, okay, you signed up with someone, you call an agent and they will register you. Please don't do that. this application literally you can do by yourself. Specifically for the PR sponsorship for the parents, you can wait and follow the CIC news or even our channel. We will keep you posted on whenever the PR sponsorship for the parents comes and plays the most important role. But the next draw usually gonna be expected somewhere by end of this year.
So Vishnu, how does this PR sponsorship work? Is it like you are going to be in the express entry system where there is a pool of your parents' profile and you get selected? Or is it like first come, first served?
So it's neither like an express entry, it's not like a first come first serve. The PR sponsorship application is entirely based upon the lucky draw, which means once a year, specifically if we are talking about this year, we are looking somewhere the draw will be coming by end of this year. Once the CIC published that the PR sponsorship application for parents is going to be open, then the applicants, that means the person who are a PR or citizen who are meeting the financial requirement of last 3 years can able to lodge their application for their parental sponsorship into the pool. After that, usually after 30 to 60 days, the draw happens. And when the draw happens, it goes with a lucky draw system. That means if you are selected, you automatically receive an email stating that, okay, your application is selected. You can start filling the forms and able to submit the PR application.
So even if you are meeting the minimum requirements, even if you are the first person to put in the application, it only matters on the luck.
101%. So always remember one thing, the PR sponsorship application for parents is totally luck-based application. It is never a guaranteed process that like express entry, that okay, if you meet certain criteria, you are getting 100% approval. In PR sponsorship for the parent, it's 100% luck. Maybe you are the last person who created a profile, but if your luck is good, you will be picked up and you will be seeing that good news that yes, you can able to put your parents' application right in.
So Vishnu, so are these three processes are related to one's parents? Are the processing time pretty much similar across the board or how does it work?
These three processes has a 3 different processing time. For example, the visitor visa, it's the same thing. Even if a person is on a visitor visa, like if the applicant who is sponsoring them or inviting them is on a study permit, work permit, or even a PR, the processing time varies from 30 to 90 days in between, depending upon which country they are applying from. Whereas if you are talking about the super visa, currently the processing time is very fast, which is 20 to 30 days. However, when we are looking for the PR sponsorship for the parents, it's entirely different. So one, we have to wait for the draw when the draw comes. So for example, if someone is qualified this year, the person need to wait for end of this year until the PR sponsorship draw starts. Second, once the application is filled and submitted, the approximate processing time is around 2 years. Yes, I do have some clients who receive their approval in 1.5 years, but I will not say that it's 1.5 years because I still have a client who's been now 2.5, 3 years and still their applications undergoing. So the processing time keep on varies. Better to put an application through a CIC consultant or a lawyer who is licensed to put a proper application and get you the approval.
So there you have it, folks. You now know 3 different ways on how to bring in your parent into Canada. It all depends on your needs. The visitor visa has a 6-month cap to it, the super visa has a 5-year cap, and the PR sponsorship is basically the parent becoming a PR. Please note all 3 processes are 3 completely different ones and have their own requirements. Well, in any case, the parents were with you when you needed them. Now it's your turn to bring them into Canada for a much awaited retirement. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Great day. See ya.